A person who has awakened is like someone who is very rich, yet constantly shares his wealth. He is not rich because he possesses nothing, nor is he poor, for he gives abundantly. He simply has no possessions. Similarly, an awakened person has no ego. He has lost the ability to identify himself with anything. He has no fixed place he is, without a dwelling, transcending space, time, and the world. When consciousness realizes itself, that is meditation. Therefore, meditation is not an act of creating or altering a specific state, but of simply being as you are. Consciousness is already complete, and no effort is required to realize this completeness. In that sense, meditation is an effortless effort. It is an attitude of accepting life as it naturally flows. From the perspective of ignorance, person is our appearance, and meditation is something we occasionally do. From the perspective of understanding, however, meditation is our true nature, and the person is merely something we sometimes engage in. Meditation is not an activity we perform, whether we are aware of it or not. Meditation is who we truly are. Meditation is the daily practice of deliberately discerning between what is true and what is false, and renouncing that which is false. In the early stages, there may be many forms of meditation, but ultimately, they all merge into one. When you lose family, face unemployment, or suffer humiliation, the image you hold of yourself as a person undergoes a profound change. To discover what you truly are, you must first explore yourself to know what you are not. And to know what you are not, carefully observe yourself by excluding everything that does not align with the basic fact of I am. Notions like I was born to these parents at such a time. Now I am this person, married to someone, living somewhere, being someone's father, employed by someone are not inherent in the feeling of I am. Our usual attitude is I am this. So consistently and persistently separate I am from thises or fat, and strive to feel the meaning of simply being without being defined as this or tat. All our habits resist this. Although overcoming these habits may be a long and difficult process, clear understanding will be of great help. The more you realize that, on the level of the mind, you can only be described in negative terms, as I am not something, the sooner you will reach the end of your inquiry and recognize your infinite being. Abandon all questions, except who am I? Ultimately, the one undeniable fact is that you are the fact am is certain, whereas I am, this is not. Strive to discover what you truly are. You cannot change the flow of events, but you can change your mindset. What truly matters is your attitude, not the events themselves. The world is a dwelling place of desire and fear, and within it, you will not find peace. To attain peace, you must transcend the world. Even when you do not feel like it, if you persist and meditate regularly, you will see tremendous benefits because you will come to understand how your thoughts bind you. If your happiness depends on external events, you will always be a slave to what happens around you. The experiences of pleasure and unhappiness are created within you. If you fail to realize this, you will seek happiness and sweet experiences through food, alcohol, various small pleasures, relationships, and countless acts of success and achievement. By structuring your life so that your happiness depends on external circumstances, you become a slave to them. External events will never occur exactly as you desire, but you can be 100% in control of yourself. This is something you must do for yourself, constantly shaping yourself in the way you wish. Then, regardless of your surroundings, you will always give your best. You do not need to diligently read spiritual texts, practice meditation for years, or harbor deep faith in a teacher to recognize your true nature. All that is required is the willingness to explore the nature of awareness itself thoroughly and honestly. This is not an intellectual inquiry, but a personal investigation into who we truly are. The true power that has kept the Buddha's teachings alive for thousands of years lies in the fact that they show all of us that we can become a Buddha, that is, an awakened one. Whether it is a familiar yet vague sense of unease or an explosion of intense fear, if you lean into it, you can become awake and free within that very experience. To mindfully face fear, your mind must be open and alert. When your mind is open, you can be present without any sense of pressure. When you are awake, you can notice and fully experience whatever arises. If attaining happiness requires strenuous, forced effort, what value does it have? True happiness arises naturally and effortlessly. Pleasure and pain alternate, but happiness remains unshaken. What you can pursue and discover is not something external. Instead, discover that which you have never lost and that which cannot be taken away. Memories of falsehood can only produce further falsehood. Memory itself is not at fault. It is the content that is false. Remember the facts and forget the opinions. You must begin from where you are now. You are here and you cannot escape from this moment. You are infinite potential and boundless possibility. Devotion to prayer might be seen as characteristic of Christianity or other theistic religions. However, regardless of what we believe, all human beings tend to grasp at something in moments of despair. We might desperately wish to be freed from a migraine, plead for a job, or pray for the wisdom to guide a child through difficult times. You may even find yourself quietly saying, "Oh, please," as you seek help from the universe. When you feel alone and afraid, you long for the comfort and peace that come from connecting with something greater and more powerful. Although prayer presupposes a dualism of me and others, it can guide us toward experiencing an undivided sense of belonging. When you rely on prayer in your distress, regardless of the surface reason for your pain, the underlying cause is always the same: the feeling that you are alone. Do not give in to loneliness too quickly. Let the knife of loneliness cut you more deeply. Let loneliness ferment you and enrich your essence. No person or celestial ingredient can do that for you. Tonight, something that I deeply miss has made my eyes so gentle, my voice so tender, and my longing for the divine so unmistakably clear. Suffering is not something worthless or merely an obstacle to overcome. It becomes a passage to inner freedom. If you imagine yourself as separate from the world, then the world will appear separate from you, and you will experience desire and fear. An awakened one does not see the world as separate from themselves. Therefore, there is nothing to desire or fear. See yourself as you truly are, and you will see the world as it truly is. Can you unify form and mind so that you are not divided? Can you gather your vital energy to become as gentle as a child? Can you wash away the stains of time and dust, dispel distracting thoughts, and gaze in serene contemplation without flaw? Can you love the people and govern a nation without force? Can you regulate your senses and the doors of your heart to maintain tranquility? Can you master all things while harboring no greed? To give birth to and nurture all things without possessing them, to act without boasting, to cultivate without claiming ownership. This is called profound virtue. True confidence arises from unconditional friendship with oneself, the discipline to cultivate gentleness, and the essential intelligence that seeks the path of life. When thought uncontrollably generates, why my response is always, why not? Existence cannot be thought, it can only be experienced. Most human relationships are primarily exchanges of the mind. True spiritual communion, an exchange of being with being, does not occur. In that mode, no relationship can truly grow, and countless conflicts arise as a result. When the mind dominates life, conflicts, quarrels, and problems inevitably occur. But when you are in touch with your inner body, a vacant space of non-attachment is created in which true relationships can blossom. The ego, the individual self, is adept at taking in everything available to ensure its own perpetuation. For this purpose, even truth is used just like any other thing. In some respects, it is the ultimate safeguard. Nothing can surpass it. For example, the ego claims that consciousness is all there is, using the rationale that everything is as good as everything else to justify its isolated activities. Yet the ego is nothing more than a mask, a facade. Consciousness, in contrast, is the mask that it freely chooses. Every time you obtain the object of your desire and the sense of lack is alleviated, consciousness catches a glimpse of itself, an experience known to ordinary people as happiness. In reality, it is not a fleeting moment, it is an eternal moment. It is not the object obtained that creates happiness, but rather the dissolution of the perceived deficiency that reveals the happiness that was always there.